So today we're going to take a look at PRX versus Xerxia on Fracture, and this is one of the craziest, most fast-paced games of Valorant you will ever see, particularly at the pro level. And PRX in particular are a team that I really like, and I think with where the meta is heading, they could potentially upset some teams in a big way when it comes to Iceland. And let's just start with round 3, and this one actually isn't going to go well for them, but I think it's a good showcase of what basically this game was the entire way through, and some of the ideas that PRX have. So let's take a look at the map and what they want to do. So they've got this very aggressive Viper wall set up to start off with. So basically what they're saying is, we're going to keep you behind this Viper wall. That is how aggressive they want to go. So they start over here in their spawn, and they're saying to the attackers, you won't even get past this part of the map. That is how aggressive they want to be. And as you can see, they've got the breach here in spawn, who's ready to stun in behind this Viper wall. So he's going to come in and stun back here like so. And then the Neon pick from Forsaken, which they used very well, I must say. He's going to stun a bit further back with his stuns and try and get people in this area. And then whilst that's going on, crazy it may seem, this Sage is standing here on the top of A site because she's going to throw in a slow that is going to reach all the way back here as well to time with the Neon stun. Insane, I know, and just the way that they're going to use this utility is pretty nuts. So up goes the Viper wall, in comes that breach stun, as I mentioned. Forsaken just sent out his stun a bit further back there, and they're going to be able to get this first kill. Now I just want to make sure that we slow it down, because what's going to happen here, he's going to use this Viper wall now almost as an escape tool to get out. But as we get on to Cruz's point of view here, this is what we really need to see, because what they did here was so cool. Because in comes Forsaken on the Neon, and he goes out here, as you can see, and Cruz is stunned here on the breach for the other team, and he is obviously focusing on this. But at that time, Mindfreak here on the Viper is going to peek from a completely different angle. Now they're going to get super unlucky, and here's the Sage slow on the floor as well that you can see. They're going to get super unlucky because somehow Cruz is able to make this flick to this head straight away, and the Viper's going to die, and it's basically going to cost them the round, because also the chamber had died earlier on. But here we go, we didn't get to see it, but I don't know how Cruz managed to hit that shot. Absolutely absurd. And so they end up losing this round. But I think, again, this is just a good showcase of just the insane ideas that PRX had. And that actually, you saw that was an actually really good idea, and it was well executed on the whole. They just got unlucky that Cruz hit an insane shot. And now let's come to round number 8. And this one starts off normally enough with this Sage wall here. They destroy it on the chamber here. He gets stunned. He teleports away. They try and chase him down. Obviously, the chamber. He can't do that. But then PRX come up with this really cool idea. How they knew that Xerxia would be in this spot and have a big dish stack, I don't really know, but they seem to have a pretty good idea, because what's about to happen is, as you can see, the Sage and the Viper have jumped up inside of the orb here, and what they're gonna try and do, I think, is get the breach ult down here towards dish, and then these two are going to push out of it. But the problem is, this boombot is going to reveal them before they are ready to breach ult, and so that means that this plan isn't going to quite work, because the boombot reveals them, they start getting spammed, Mindfreak's going to drop back off this side, Jing's going to come and try and aggress, and then the ult is just going to come in a bit too late. So this boombot kind of disrupts everything, as you're about to see, because it goes off, they start getting spammed, Jing tries to push, it doesn't go well. But then in we go. We've got this Raise Nade coming in. We're going to get a Brim Molly coming in as well. And then we're going to get this Raise ult coming in as well. But whilst this is going on, a lot else is going to happen. Because as you can see, we've got the Neon stun towards Dish there. And then this Breach Aftershock is going to come in from PRX. So they're stopping the rest of the team from Xerxia here from getting in onto the site and supporting this Raise. And that's going to become in pretty massive, because the Raise can't find anyone with the ult and ends up dying there to Mindfreak. But whilst that is going on, we then get Xerxia using their Brim ult here to push the Neon back, as you can see there. The problem is they still have these two people here in Nest, and that is ultimately going to cost them. But whilst that's gone on, the Jet has also dashed in onto the site on the top of A site, as you can see as well, using that Brim ult to get in. But unfortunately, as I mentioned, that's going to cost them, because these two die to the two in Nest, and well, the Jet did manage to get on site and is able to get a kill. And then Jet's able to get another kill as well. And so they end up in a 2v2, but unfortunately the Chamber loses that fight, and eventually the Spike obviously is back here up towards Dish, which Fox does a nice little idea to try and get it back, but then dies to the Chamber. But again, you saw some really cool ideas there that came out from the side of Paper Rex, and then they're just constantly setting up these small little traps for their opponent, and I don't quite know how they knew they'd be at Dish, but again, you just see the kind of awareness of what's going on from the side of Paper Rex. And again, we're going to get more crazy aggression from the side of Paper X here in round 10. And this time it's going to be this pinch towards the north side of the map. And again, it's going to go pretty well for them. And so let's take a look at what happens, because we've got the Chamber and the Viper here. They are going to go different sides of Dish and push. The Viper's going to put down this Viper Molly here. And that's going to cause some problems, because obviously the idea of this is which way do you look, right? It's very difficult for attackers to kind of in the moment like decide, you know, who's peeking which side, and they're going to take advantage of that because they get the first kill with the Chamber, and then once the Chamber's got a kill, you know, Surf here we can see is looking at him, and instead that's when the Viper's going to peek him and he gets a kill. And then what's really cool here is the Jet is able to jump up on the Chamber and get closer than they might think, and the Jet is delaying this whole time. But what's happened in that time is the Neon here has managed to run all this way and is also now going to kill the Jet, and they end up in a 4v2 with the Spike before Xerxia even know what hit them. There goes the Jet, and there is pretty much the round over. And now let's move to Paper X's attacking side, because here on round 16, what we're going to see is basically them using this Neon almost as like a one-man or two-man, I guess, with some help from the Breach pressure tool to fake as if this is a full B execute. And the thing is, they've been playing so fast that really I can't blame Xerxia for believing that, you know, this is just a straight up B execute from both sides, in they come, because that's pretty much what had happened before. But instead it's going to be a fake. As you can see, the rest of the team, or at least 3 of the 5 members, are actually going to come in on A site, and that is going to help them. But here we go, because what we're going to get is a Breach stun from both sides, and then Neon stuns, in they come. Great use of the Neon stun there, and in goes the Neon ult, gets one, gets traded out. But whilst that is going on, what we have on the map here is this kill on the Chamber, because what the Chamber had done is, you know, thought, oh, it's a B hit, I'll try and get round on this flank quick, got caught out by the Viper and died there for nothing. So the Viper is able to get one as well, but now it's kind of, you know, the Jet has realized that, and so realizes that it's an A hit. So this Jet here has come back towards Dish with a Judge and manages to pick off the Viper. We end up in a 3v3, but then they are storming in onto this A site, as you can see. And at this point, the rest of Xerxia, you know, didn't really know, is this a B hit? Is this an A hit? You know, you've seen the Breach and the Neon on this side and the Viper on this side. So I can understand why they probably thought it was more of a B hit, because, you know, that makes more sense with the agents that they'd seen. But no, it was an A hit, and so they get caught out, and we end up in this 3v2. Again, the Paper Rex are going to win, and so again, they kind of use this fast pace, you know, again, to just fake out their opponents. Like, hey, here's a Neon, here's a Breach, we must be going B, right? No, it's actually an A hit. And when a game is played at such a pace, you will just believe that, you know, the first thing that you see, because that's what the game had been up until this point. And Paper X in this round, I really liked that they just threw in a random fake at one point, and it won them this round. And now let's come to the very final round, and this one is going to be a bit crazy as well, because we're going to get a push here from Xerxia and a mad push here from Paper X. In the first 10 seconds, there's going to be quite a few deaths and quite a lot going on. So let's take a look at it, because we'll stay on the Paper X side first, and see we get this Neon stun. The Neon just constantly pressing W, as are the rest of his teammates, because here's Jing, didn't stop pressing W either, is able to get Fox way before he's expecting anyone to be there. Now, on the other side of the map completely, we've got this Brim Smoke here, we've got a Breach stun that just came in down here, and we're going to get these two players, unfortunately, getting trapped in that corner, basically, and dying as well, as we're about to see. So as that's going on, we're also going to get a res here on Forsaken, and Forsaken's about to do something that honestly I don't think I've ever seen anyone do, and it's going to be crazy, and you'll be juked out by it as well. Watch Forsaken here, because he's going to jump out that way, but then he ends up on the other side of it, and at first I was completely bamboozled as to how he did that. But actually, let's just watch it again, because it's so cool, because he's also able to get a kill, and he's able to go past Cruz there, and he clearly doesn't realize where Cruz is, but then Cruz gets traded out. If you watch it on the map, it's just absurd, because follow the little Neon there, you're going to see he does start to come this way, and then just goes the other way completely, and dashes around. I have no idea how he's been able to do that, and I've never seen anyone do anything like that. Eventually, they get the trades, and they do manage to get onto the site. They're able to hit another here with with Jing, and then eventually they are going to close this one out and win this game for PaperX. This absurd game as Jing just goes hunting there. He's got 3, so he's looking for his 4th, and then Benkai is able to close out the game. And so there it was. There's PaperX versus Xerxia, one of the craziest maps of Valorant, fast-paced things you'll ever see, and I am very excited to see what PaperX can do at Iceland, because in this kind of fast-paced, more execute-heavy meta, I really do think it could suit them and that they could surprise quite a few people.